Hey everyone, Ben Coomber Radio. So, a little bit different on the show today. We're kind of moving away from the health and fitness theme, but we're talking about life progression. We're talking about you trying to achieve the bigger picture. And we did this amazingly with Martin Rooney the other week. He was an incredible guest. He was passionate. He was insane. And I've got someone who, this guy is in my top 3 all-time business books, alongside Richard Branson and Rupert McKeown. Absolutely amazing book. He wrote the book How to Be Brilliant. On the other end of this call, I've got Michael Heppell. Hello.
Hello, how are you?
Brilliant. Being harassed by my dog.
I can hear the dog in the background. Is that the sound of the chain?
Yeah, she's more needy than the other half. It can be disturbing.
I'm sure it's good for a nice life balance having the dog around.
It is, yeah. She forces me to get up off my ass and go walk outside in the fresh air. Michael, for people that don't know who you are, which on this podcast will probably be quite a few, who on earth are you? What do you do?
Okay, well, I teach people how to be brilliant, which means that I find out where people are now, I find out where they want to get to, and I help them to fill the gap. So whether that's a business, whether that's an individual, whether it's a sports person, whether it's a TV personality. Last week we were with 800 students from a college. We work with all sorts of organisations, large and small, but they all have to guarantee me one thing before we work with them, and that is that they will become dissatisfied with doing a good job. Good is no longer good enough. I say you've got to step up and you've got to be brilliant.
Wow, like that. So was How to Be Brilliant, was it the first book you ever wrote?
That's right, yeah. I mean, I'll let you into a little secret, and your listeners can hear this little secret as well. When I wrote that book, I would have been delighted if my mum and 2 other people had bought it. Because all I wanted to do was write a book, and I had no idea whether it would be a success or not. And Pearson, who are one of the biggest publishers in the world, they were very kind, and they said, look, we'll give you a shot at writing this book. We believe in what you're doing. We think it sounds like a great idea, a great concept. We'll publish it. And then an interesting thing happened. When the book was published, and it was 10 years ago, this is the 10th anniversary of How to Be Brilliant in 2014, it went into the top 10 business books. And it didn't just stay there for a week or a month. It stayed there for 2 years and 4 months.
Wow.
And then when the revised edition came out, it went into the top 10 business books again, and it stayed there for another year and a month, I think it was. And it's now available in 22 different languages, and it's available in 80 countries around the world. And I always say this, that I'm not saying that to impress people. I'm saying that, to impress upon people that brilliance is now. This is not a future concept. This is not something where you say, you know what? When it comes to my level of service, I'd better be brilliant in the future. When it comes to providing great ideas and great products and in your industry, methods to help people feel amazing about themselves, to look great, to feel wonderful, I'm going to be pretty good at that. You can't be good at it. You've got to be brilliant. Otherwise, there's somebody out there right now who wants your customer, who will find your customer, and will find a way to get your customer.
Wow. Nice. No, mate, I totally agree. And to be honest, if I'd published a book in that many countries and had that many people read it, I'd be telling most people I met. I'd be pretty proud of that, as you quite rightly are. One of the key reasons I reached out to you, because I started in the health and fitness industry as just kind of a personal trainer and nutrition coach, and I moved into the thought process that I want to be a leader. I want to be in a position where I coach other people. I want to be able to help more people. I think I've got a lot to give. And I was at an airport one day, rummaging through the business book section, going away. And I always like to read a book on the plane. And I always try and read something that I've never really kind of read before, or I wouldn't usually pick up. So I picked your book up. And I literally read the whole thing on the 8-hour flight. And the book that I've got of yours is just full of notes. It's ram-packed with things that I wanted to do. And this was probably about 3 years ago. And off the back of this, I'm going to tell you what I wrote down. And this sits in front of me right now. I've got a cork board in front of my computer that I'm talking to you on. And it says how I'm going to be brilliant at the top of it. and I wrote down the things that I took out of your book. So I've got you've got a section which talked about values, which we can talk about in a minute. And I wrote down values: integrity and honesty, passion, enthusiasm, health, creativity, contribution to other people's lives, fun and excitement, love, my own success, and that was my values. And then I kind of expanded that. I'll talk to you. Let's mention the other points I wrote down in a minute. But why do you think it's so important for people to have values that kind of drive their every movement?
Do you know, it makes decision making much easier. When you make decisions based on values, it's very simple to make the right decision. Well, not very simple. It's easier to make the right decision. So if you've got, family as one of your real strong values, and somebody wants some of your time to do something else, you kind of go, well, should I do this? Should I do that? You just look down that list of values and you say, how does this fit with the family? And it makes that decision much easier. Sometimes people have, they very easily say things like, integrity. Integrity is one of my values. A nice thing to say, easy thing to say, Ben, but actually living that value is a little bit more challenging. But once you have integrity as one of your values, you can turn around to people and really honestly say, I'm unable to do that, and here's why. One of my values is integrity, and I would be lying to you if I said I was going to do that. So the truth is this. And the respect that you get from other people, it kind of it all comes together and it combines to create a really strong value set. And one of the things I wanted to do in How to Be Brilliant was show people how to write their values, how to really think about it, rather than just kind of going, all right, well, what's important to me? Yeah, let's see how I get on. I wanted something that was going to be a little bit more powerful than that.
Yeah. Amazing. I find that people that don't have values that are kind of in stone like I do are very, very difficult to work with on a business level, because I've often gone into arrangements where, you kind of say, right, we're going to do this. This is how I work. And for me, and kind of like you and other busy people, time is short, and values create a lot of direction with your communication, and you say to people, right, we'll do this, we'll do that, and here's why. And a lot of people that don't have values and the reasons why they do things find it very hard to communicate with people like me, because they almost think I'm being like egotistical because I know what I want and why I'm going to do it, and they don't know why. And I've had many business relationships that have fallen apart because other people just don't know what they want and why they actually really want to do things. They just think it's a good idea.
Yeah. And I think that when you look and you study highly successful people in all different areas, whether it's business, whether it's sport, whether it's people from history, one of the things that they all had in common was a very strong value system.
Definitely. Right. Let's go through the other 12 points. So, off the back of your book, these are the 12 points that guide my every action apart from my values. So I wrote down, always break out of my comfort zone, communicate with everyone that I meet in life, get alpha theta creative, so meditate, how to visualize how I want every situation to pan out, give brilliant customer service to everyone, use the words, I need your help, trust and use my intuition, positive thoughts are not enough, take positive action. What can I do today to grow and help others grow? I feel successful when I instill success in someone else. Work with others that are communicators, honest, driven and have passion, and be a leader. They're the 12 things that drive my everyday. That's why I got out your book.
Wow. Well, I'll tell you, would you mind putting that on Amazon?
Sure.
The more reviews, the better, really, that we get like that. But I think that sounds brilliant, Ben. And the fact that you bothered to write that down and you have it in front of you, you said an interesting thing there. This is on my cork board in front of me every single day. Most people, they read a book, and what will happen is that they get all excited by the ideas, and then they go and put the book back on the shelf, or they put the book in a drawer or whatever, and then living the ideas becomes a real challenge. So we encourage people to do this thing called 90 Days of Brilliance. And I mean, How to Be Brilliant, the subheading is change your ways in 90 days. And it's just saying to people, just test it out for 90 days. At the end of 90 days, if it hasn't worked, then that's fine. At least you know because you tested it out. If you just kind of understand something at an intellectual level, but don't bother to try and put it into place, that's when you end up starting to have challenges. So you're putting the stuff in place, but I bet it isn't easy. I bet it's a scrap. I bet there's times when you're just thinking, phew, you know what, this really could be a little bit easier right now.
So one of the reasons I do this is because I'm such a huge fan of goal setting. You know,
Yeah.
I'm self-employed, I'm a business owner, I need to know where I'm going. And I teach a lot of goal setting because I do quite a bit of business coaching within the fitness industry now because I'm passionate about it and I love it. And I've developed myself on a personal level. What tips do you give to people, regardless of what their goals are, of how to actually goal set and achieve those goals in a tangible way?
Well, my mind has changed a little bit, to be honest. I used to believe that you had to have your goals written down. That was one of the big things. And I used to teach that all the time. You've got to have your goals written down because I was always told that. And I was told that by some very successful people. So if they tell you, that's what you do. And then I realized an interesting thing, that some of the goals that I was achieving, it wasn't written down. I just had a burning desire. And I think the burning desire is more important than writing it down. And then just last year, our latest book was published, which is called The Edge. And The Edge, the subheading of that is How the Best Get Better. And we studied highly successful people who were real top achievers in all sorts of different areas, whether it was, again, sports or running restaurants, or we had one day I was talking to the guy who was the head of the British Army, the next day I was talking to one of the world's greatest restaurateurs, all sorts of different people. And one of the questions I asked is, do you write your goals down? We interviewed and researched 200 people, and 5 out of the 200 actually wrote their goals down. So I was like, oh, there's my theory out the window, that you have to have written goals. And I think some people still do need written goals, but I think the most important thing is to have the burning desire. You know that feeling where you get out of bed on a Monday morning and you think, yes, come on, another week, rather than thinking, oh God, 5 more minutes and hitting the snooze button. You get that feeling by creating the burning desire.
I put a tweet out this morning because we're recording this on a Monday. It is a Monday today. And I said, another Monday, can't wait. And I just put hustle. And within a minute, a guy tweeted me back and was like, oh, I wish I could share your inspiration for a Monday. You know, it's just another week. And I thought, yeah, where there's so many people out there with just no burning desire for what they're doing. I suppose part of the work that I do is that I inspire people to be better and do more. So I find it amazing. But talking about, you know, that burning desire, the reason why I write down a lot of my goals is, for me personally, you know, because what you're saying is a lot of people will write down a goal. Let's say I open a notebook, I write it down, but the problem is they close the page in the notebook and then they shelve it, and then it's kind of, you know, it's just an idea, it's just a fantasy.
Yeah.
But with my goals, I write them down and then I think about them, and I come back to them like a week later and I'm like, do I actually still want to achieve that goal, or was it just an idea at that point in time? And then I go, no, actually, I'm really driven to get that goal. So then I print a photo out of it. So I'm going to be buying a house in like another 6 months' time. So one of my big goals, you know, personally and financially, is to drive towards that. So I've got a picture of the home I want, a picture of the deposit I need, you know, and all these other things around it. And I think that's what creates my burning desire to do it, because I sit there in front of it every day on my corkboard and go, well, that's why I'm doing this, and that's the tangible things that are going to get me there, and that's the reason.
And what happens is when you do that, you create gestalt. So gestalt is your brain's way of wanting to put things in order. And it's looking at that house, and it's looking at that deposit, and it's looking at all those people you want to work with and all that stuff. And eventually your brain just kind of goes, okay, what has to happen to make this so? You know, it's kind of, have you ever done this thing, Ben? I'm sure you have. Loads of people have done it. You want to buy a particular car. Right, and you get it in your head, and then the minute you make your decision to buy that type of car, you see it everywhere. Every time you drive down the road, you see it. It's kind of, over there you got one, you see it on the telly, it's everywhere. And what that is, it's just focusing your mind on what you want. And a lot of people kind of go through their lives, and I'll say to them, so what do you really want? Oh, I don't know. You kind of go, okay, so I kind of get people to flip it, and I say, well, what don't you want? So, like in your business, it's that whole thing. People often say, "Well, what do you want?" Well, I'd like to lose a little bit of weight, and I'd like to be a little bit fitter, or whatever. I would kind of say, "Okay, what don't you want?" Get to think about what they don't want. People do more to avoid pain than they do to gain pleasure. So sometimes creating a little bit of pain helps people to get focused on what they want. Also, what you can do is you can get people to think about that big goal. Very exciting. We love the idea of the big goal, but also what's the reward you're going to give yourself for achieving a small part of that? We sometimes delayed gratification is wonderful. I love that. No problem at all with delayed gratification, but don't wait forever before you give yourself a little treat. Don't wait forever before you give yourself a pat on the back. You should be kind of feeling some reason, something to congratulate yourself about every single day. And that, again, keeps that momentum going. That's what gets people excited about the bigger goal. And when you're having the tough times, and you will have the tough times, it keeps you going.
And that's probably another reason why so many people fail in their endeavours in business, right? Surely.
Yeah. Oh, totally. Yeah. I mean, that happens so often. I respect anybody who starts a business. I really do. I totally respect anybody 1,000 times more who starts a business in the fitness and health industry, because it's a scrap. What you guys do, and seeing the people who go out there, and the next thing they're offering, boot camps for 20 quid for 10 weeks, and I'll do this, I'll do that, and they're thinking, well, I'm better off doing some work than not doing anything, and you know what, and they devalue themselves, and then they end up with demotivated people, and they demotivate themselves, and they're fighting just to make a bit of a living. And actually, it should be a fantastic business for most people. Health and fitness should be something where people feel excited about working there. They should be rewarded. They should be paid well. But I guess most people don't understand the business side of working in the health and fitness business.
No, and that's why I've talked a bit more about business in my recent podcast, because a huge amount of people listening right now will be in business. Like, if you are a personal trainer, you're not just responsible to make people healthy. You're responsible for your income, your schedule, your organisation, your personal progression, your business progression. And everyone just thinks, well, being a brilliant personal trainer is enough. Well, it's not enough. How do you market yourself? How do you talk to people? How do you email people? How do you present yourself? There's all these skills that complete a package. And because people don't actually consider that, and one of the problems is, I think the educating bodies in the fitness industry don't instill this in personal trainers. That so many people are failing in the fitness industry because they don't see themselves as a business person, and in fact they are. They very much are.
Oh, absolutely, definitely. I mean, it's interesting as well. One of the things that you're talking about there is being brilliant at being a fitness trainer. Great. Some of those people aren't brilliant either. They stop learning. They do their bit. They learn enough to kind of become the fitness trainer. Then they tick the box, and then suddenly they stop learning. And that disappoints me. I kind of think, come on, when does your education stop? You want to learn about business. Yeah, you want to learn about marketing. But keep learning about health. Keep learning about nutrition. Take the blinkers off sometimes. Have a look at what else is happening out there. There's some amazing things happening around the world now. Amazing discoveries. Why shouldn't you be at the leading edge of it?
I know. I've been in the fitness industry. Oh God, what? Probably 7 years now. And the only reason I keep doing it is because I learn every day. And all the people that I see as kind of my peers around me that I associate with and have interviewed on this podcast previously, is that these are people that are constantly learning. And the only way that you can get up every day and stay passionate about what you do is have a hunger for it.
Yeah.
And straight away, if you lose a hunger because you don't find nutritional or health or fitness or whatever interesting, then go and find something that does. And then it becomes, so much easier to get out of bed and jump out of bed every day and go, yeah, come on, work. I can't wait.
Yeah. And but at the same time, you've got to pay the bills.
Yeah, apparently
that's
so.
What people say, that's all very good, Ben, but I've got to pay the bills. So, I think as well, sometimes you shouldn't necessarily just quit your job. You should be thinking, okay, what else can I do? Multiple streams of income isn't a bad idea for the people listening to this. What else can I do? What else can I create? Where else can I add value? And then actually you'll find yourself gravitating to the thing that you enjoy doing the most. And you'll also end up gravitating to the thing that you're going to be most successful with as well.
Nice. Right, I'm conscious we've got 5 minutes left. I want to go over two things.
Sure.
There's one thing you mentioned in your book that stands out and a lot of people won't get, but I think you can explain very quickly. Why do you get people to ask the question, I need your help?
Because why would you want to do it all on your own? There are people out there right now who would love to help you. There are people out there right now who are desperate to help individuals, but what we do is we don't ask in the right way. We faff around. We start to hint on to people that they might want to help. When they don't offer their help, we feel a little bit, upset about the fact that they didn't help us. Oh man, it's ridiculous. Strap a pair on and just, if you need some help from someone, say the magic words, which is, I need your help. Those 4 magic words, the brain is programmed that when somebody says, I need your help, automatically that individual will want to help you. Next stage is when somebody says, okay, what do you need? Be very, very clear. So say to them, I'd like to meet with you. This is what I used to do when I was looking for mentors, and I still do it to a point. I want to meet with you 3 times. The first time, I'm going to buy you lunch, and I'm going to tell you a bit about my plans and how you might be able to help. The second time, I'm going to buy you dinner, and then I'm going to ask you a few more questions and ask for a little bit more advice. The third time, if you still want to see me, I will buy you breakfast, lunch, or dinner, anything you like, and then after that, we won't meet again. So it's 3 meetings that I'm asking for, and each time I get to buy you a meal. How does that sound? Well, most people will probably say, well, that sounds lovely, but you probably don't even need to buy me the meals. Just pop round, I'll help you out. Secondly, if you do have to sit down and buy somebody a meal, 40, 50 quid to pick the brain of somebody who might be able to help you and give you a lift up the ladder. Why wouldn't you do that? By the way, I wouldn't use the term, I want to pick your brain, because people who are very successful get asked that a lot. Kind of say, go back to, I just need your help. I need your help. I need your help. Use that. And the worst case scenario, they say no. Well, that puts you right back to where you were before, so you haven't lost anything.
Nice. I hate that phrase, I want to pick your brain. Like, it just sounds odd. I don't want my brain picked. Yeah. I'll share some knowledge with you if you like.
Well, I think that's it. I tell you who else. One of your, I'm sure somebody who you know in your industry, Paul Mort.
Yeah, we've had Paul on here before.
Yeah, well, Paul, he had a couple of great ideas, and I said to him, I want to take you out for lunch, and he went, oh, that's great, because I want to take you out for lunch. So a kind of pair of us were sat there going, well, I want to take you out. So we said, okay, we'll take each other out for lunch, and then we'll just swap a few ideas. And he said, you nearly said, pick my brain, didn't you? I was like, no. And he's like, it was kind of, don't you effing say that again, mind. I was like, don't worry, I'm not picking brains and you're not picking brains.
Nice. Right, well, Michael, this has been short, but it's been a pleasure. The key reason to get you onto this call is to share your knowledge, but to point people in the direction of your books, because I do think they're absolutely fantastic. I didn't know you had The Edge, so I'm now going to go on Amazon and buy it. You've got.
Ben, would you like me just to quickly run through the books that I've written? Because I've written 6.
Oh, Jesus, go on.
Okay, so the first one's How to Be Brilliant, which is what we've been talking about. 10 years ago, I wrote that book. Second book is called Brilliant Life, and it's how to get a balance in life. People have this strange idea that you have to... work-life balance means that one of those areas is going to suffer. Why not have it all? And Brilliant Life shows you how to do that. Next book is called 5-Star Service, 1-Star Budget, and it's a best-selling customer service book in the UK. I'm passionate about customer service, and there's loads of ideas. The recent edition, for some reason, the publishers dropped the 1-star budget bit, so it's just known as 5-Star Service, which, fair enough, it still works. Then I wrote a book called How to Save an Hour Every Day, which is a time management book, and it's the only book of its kind with a guarantee. So I guarantee that you will save an hour every day if you read that book and put it into practice. If you don't, send me the book and I'll send you your money back. Easy. And then I wrote a book called Flip It, and Flip It became a Sunday Times #1 bestseller. So it's, as much as How to Be Brilliant is maybe what I'm known for, the most successful book in terms of volume sold is Flip It. And that was mainly because Chris Evans on Radio 2 said it was the best book he'd ever read and everybody should buy 10 copies.
Wow.
That was one of those really interesting moments when Chris Evans says that. That was great. And then the most recent book, The Edge, How the Best Get Better, was published last year, and that is currently shortlisted for Management Book of the Year. And so we're delighted that that's been shortlisted, because it took 4 years to write. A lot of work, a lot of energy went into that. But it's like all the books, they're an easy read. I don't want to write I don't want to write books that are complicated, that are full of theory. I want to write stuff where people can just sit down on the loo, read a chapter, get something from it, and then go ahead and apply it.
Awesome. So people can get all those books on Amazon. Do you have any websites, Twitter, that kind of thing that people can connect with you?
I'm on Twitter at Michael Heppell, Heppell. So at Michael Heppell. My website is michaelheppell.com. Here's the thing that we'll do for you, right? For anybody who's listening to this, if you go onto there, we have a thing called 90 Days of Brilliance. Right, sign up for 90 Days of Brilliance and just say on there, how did you hear about Michael? To see you will listen to Ben's interview with Michael, and I will send all those people a free audio program. Send them a free audio download and put it on their iPhone and put it onto their, the iPod or whatever, and listen to it. And it'll be a genuine free offer, so you can be able to buy it as well. I'll tell you what we'll do. I do a brilliant program called Start the Wow Now. People normally download it for 15 quid. Anybody who registers and says that they listen to this, we'll give them it for free as a download.
Oh, wow, that's very kind. I had no idea you were going to do that. That is amazing.
No, that's my pleasure. I just want to I'm excited. I really appreciate the fact that you asked me to do this today, Ben. And it's my bad, by the way, that I'm having to call this a little bit short. When Ben came on the line, I said, "I'm really sorry, I've got a call coming in at 4:00, and I need to be on another line for that." And he's like, "Yeah, no problem. Let's rattle through it." So hopefully we've given some good value in a short period of time.
Okay, well, Michael, on that point, I'll say thank you very much for joining me on today's call. Right, you've heard it, guys. All his books are online. If you go to michaelheppell.com, you'll get that free program. I think that's an incredible offer. Connect with Michael on Twitter. Michael, thank you very much.
My absolute pleasure. Thank you for asking me, Ben. Anything else I can do would be brilliant. And that's my call coming in right now, so I'm with a dash.
Right, thanks, Michael. Ciao.
Bye.
So it's a shame we couldn't talk to Michael for a little bit longer. I was hoping to have him for about 40 minutes, but I'd like to think everyone got some really, really cool information from there. I personally have gained so much as an individual from his book, How to Be Brilliant, more so on a personal level about how I think and do things and what I want out of my business and stuff. His other book, Flip It, I've got it on my bookshelf. I need to read it very soon. I was hoping to read it before the call that we did today, but it didn't happen. The Edge sounds amazing. His other books sound amazing, and I genuinely had no idea he was going to offer that. So if you go to Michael Heppell, HEPPELL.com, he's going to send you that audio program if you type in Ben Coomber Radio on his website. So go online, type in Ben Coomber Radio, you'll get that free audio download series to go on your iPod. I think it's an absolute gift. I'm going to do it myself because I just think the guy's an absolute hero when it comes to sort of shaping your mindset for business and life progression, which I think is paramount. We all do this stuff for a reason. It's to live a better life. It's to live a richer life, to be happier, to be healthier, to progress every day, to enjoy our family, to enjoy the richness that our life brings. And I just think this guy can help you and me do it. So, connect with him, sign up, get it, and I'll see you on the next podcast. Ciao. Hey everyone, Ben Coomber Radio, it's episode 73. I know, check me out, I remembered. We're recording the podcast in advance for while I'm in Australia. As you are listening to this, I may well be in Australia, depending on how quick and hot on the buzzer you are. But today is another show with Anna. Hello.